Welcome back everyone to another Day Zero build-along for Attack on Titan Battle for Humanity. Today we have another meta menace, and that is Reiner Braun. So a lot of rumors going around about this guy, Smiling Titan, and Mikasa, maybe even Levi being like the big four for the set. But Reiner is definitely giving a lot of people a lot of trouble. Let's see why. He's of the Survey Corps. Don't know if that matters anything. He's a 6 hand size 34 health character, with Chaos and Death as his symbols. He has an Enhance, not once per turn, This attack gets +1 or -1 damage, so free damage booster reduction. You may also sacrifice one foundation. If you do, this attack gets +2 or -2 damage instead. So that's pretty good right off the bat. And then response once per turn. After you sacrifice one or more foundations, build one of them face down committed. So if you sacrifice a foundation for the enhance, you can immediately build it in face down committed right after that. Then if a player has 9 or more foundations, transform Reiner Braun into Reiner Armored Titan. He has a static that says after this character transforms into Reiner Armored Titan, your rifle flips 4 foundations. That could be annoying. Enhance, your attack gets +2 damage. Cool. You may commit or sacrifice one foundation. If you do, ruin 1. So ruin is, of course, forcing your rival to sacrifice one of their face-down foundations. So you get 2 damage for free on all of your attacks, kind of like Big Mouth Titan, in a way. But instead of snagging a momentum once per turn, you can commit cards in your stage to just ruin your rival's stage. And then enhance, commit, spend 1 momentum, reduce this attack's damage to 1. So that's pretty powerful. Something else on the enhance here, your attack gets 2 damage, that's not just playable on your turn. So if your rival has a bunch of ready face-down foundations, you can commit one of your own foundations to force them to ruin, and you can just totally obliterate their stage on their turn while you take like 1 damage from a big attack. So that's pretty rough. I can kind of see why people call him the embodiment of the death symbol. Death is very foundation destruction. So let's lean into that. Let's build our deck off of death. Go standard, attack, death, and chaos attuned. I have learned that if you select your main symbol up here, it will also show you the attuned versions of those cards, but if we wanted to see just the attuned, we would have to select the attuned version. So let's check Death attuned cards, shall we? Or Death and Chaos attuned cards. If you have at least 1 momentum, draw a card. We're not hoarding momentum on this one, so I don't think we need to worry too much about that. After this attack is blocked, each player sacrifices a foundation. That's pretty cool. We want to sacrifice our foundations because then we can build one in once per turn, and we can force our rival to just sacrifice their foundations. So that could be pretty strong. Not worried about wall counters, not playing backups. Rival flips a foundation as a blitz. Since we ruin, that could be worth it. It's got a nice 1 low block. Not playing backup or shift attacks. Not worried about momentum. Nope. Rival commits a face-up foundation. I don't think we're worried about the 3-high-3. Little orchestrated attack. No. Blitz, ruin 2, flip 1 rival foundation with a difficulty of 2 or less. That could be very useful for us. We do like to ruin, and we do like to flip more cards to ruin more cards. After you block with this card, if you have 6 or fewer foundations, flip 1 rival foundation. I don't think we're going to need to worry about that. Sacrifice a foundation. If you do this attack's powerful rating gets +2. Not going to worry about that too much either. Rival spends momentum. Ravages of War is good because we can force a discard, a sacrifice, and our rival to spend a momentum. And if we block with it while we have 6 or fewer foundations, we can force our rival to discard a card. Risky Encounters is good. because we are forcing... we can sacrifice 3 and build 1 right in. Sacrifice a foundation after you play this card. Build 1 foundation from your discard pile with a difficulty less. So this could be tricky, because we can sacrifice a 2 difficulty to build a 1 difficulty in ready, and then use our once per turn response to build that other foundation in committed face down, so we basically get 2 for the price of 1. Beast Titan appears, forcing both players to sacrifice, and with all of the sacrificing once per turn, we have to realize we can build something in once per turn. Does that put us at 7 different attacks? Once per turn after you sacrifice 1 or more foundations. So yeah, on either turn, if we sacrifice a foundation, we get to build it in face down committed. So that's really strong. Of course, also on Chaos, we could have the option to play Rando's Spirit Gun, if we chose Chaos instead of Death, to be able to use that once per turn, twice per turn. So that could be fun. But we're not going to worry too much about that. We could play our... Yeah, let's play our Armored Titan attacks in our Armored Titan character. Colossus Thermal Blast is funny. I don't think we're going to play it in Reiner, though. That's more for decks where you can absolutely guarantee that you're going to be playing that cheaply. So, let's see. What else can we do there? There's another death secret, isn't there? A death attune secret. Short work, here we go. It's a 2-check, but we can sacrifice a foundation to add it to our hand as our first form. Then we build that in face down committed. And then if our rival has more foundations than us, it gets plus speed. On second thought, short work and risky encounter. I don't know if I want to run those because we might always have more foundations if we're forcing our rival to sacrifice them and we're ruining them. So it might not be the best to run. So now let's continue on to more of our death cards. Remove a card from your hand, no. Destroy 1 foundation if you have 2 other attacks in your card pools. Look at your rival's hand and just remove a card from it. Maybe. Maybe not. If this attack deals damage, your rival discards a card. They may sacrifice a foundation to cancel this ability. Not really doing a ranged and slam package, though. I have 1 ranged and 1 slam. Nah, not gonna worry about that. However, I do like Luna Ring, because it gets 1 damage for each card that has been destroyed this turn, and sacrificing is selectively destroying your own card. So anytime we do a dual sacrifice, like each player sacrifices a foundation, that's plus 2 damage on a Luna Ring. So that's pretty strong. So I really, really like that. Freeze foundations, destroy a rival foundation. We could lean heavily into this destruction. Deterioration Palm. We can sacrifice a a committed foundation to build the top card of our deck and build that card that we just built in. Double this attack's damage. Maybe. I do like Mass Decay, because we can spend a momentum, our rival destroys 1 foundation, they sacrifice a foundation and flip a ready foundation, which is pretty fun. Big freaking explosion, sniping bolt. I think that's going to be it for... You can sacrifice a ready foundation to pay this card's echo cost. Interesting. Sacrifice a foundation. This gets stun 1 and plus 1 speed. Deterioration Bomb could be neat. Destroy 1 rival. We don't want to build them foundations unless, of course, we're just going to force them to ruin a whole bunch of stuff. Rival destroys 1 face-up foundation. Your rival may build the top card of their deck committed. I don't think we're really running on a Fury package. 1 Fury, 2 Fury, 3 Fury, 4 Fury, 5 Fury, 6 Fury. Okay, so we do have some Fury, but I'm not going to worry about that. Let's worry about trimming down the attacks we have here. Crush the Cavalry is good as, like, maybe a one of. Face your rival, our rival flips a foundation. That's on a blitz, which is fine. But if we've got the Mass Decay and we don't really have a momentum out, I think I'd rather use Mass Decay. Armor Titan could be good as a one of. Ravages of War could be a nice 2 of. Attack Titan Emerges could be a cool 3 of, or a 2 of maybe. Let's do that as a 3 of. That could be 1 of. This could be 3. That could be 2. That could be 3. That could be 3. And that could be 2. So what's that give us? Like 24? 23 attacks. 23 attack Reiner. 23 attack dude. Might not need the cluster bombs. What are we looking at stats-wise for our block zones? Mostly mids. Yeah, let's get rid of the cluster bombs. And get rid of 1 deterioration palm. I like Luna Ring as like a big bomb, though. Yeah, 1 deterioration palm. There we go. So there's our 20 attacks. So now let's look at assets. Do we have any assets we want to use? I can already think of one. Vertical maneuvering's good. That's not the one I'm thinking of, but it's always fun. Here we go, Grenadier Bracers. If you've destroyed a foundation this enhanced step, it gets 1 damage. And commit, this attack is 1 damage for each foundation you have destroyed this turn, so the more we sacrifice, which we can sacrifice for our own abilities, the more we sacrifice, the more we have a final bomb that just hits really, really, really hard. On to actions. Fortitude of the Armor Titan. Could be nice because we are the Armor Titan. Chomp, destroy a rival foundation with difficulty 2 or less. If after this card leaves your card pool, remove it. Chomp could be good just as a form near the end of the turn. Decayed Awaken, we need our foundations though. Go for the win. That's if our rival has more foundations than us, but they're likely not gonna. So let's just do 2 Chomp. On to foundations. Annie's Gamble. That's a remove, not a destroy, though. Building backups. We're not dealing with backups. I do like Bertolt's Horrifying Realization here. Milling. We're not worried about milling. Flip for -3 damage. Sacrifice 1 foundation, mill 1. This attack is 1 damage. If you milled an attack, it gets +3 instead. That's not too shabby. Let's see how we're dealing with low blocks first. If you have sacrificed a foundation, this enhanced step gets 1 damage. That's pretty good. Kind of works with our Grenadier Bracers. We're not dealing with the weapons package. I do like Eaten by the Beard Titan because it's tenacious and sacrifice. Form sacrifice, destroy a rival foundation. Your combat phase ends. That's good for just sniping things. Let's put it as a 2 of. After this enters your discard pile during the enhance, this attack is +2 or -2 damage. That is golden because we're always getting the +2, -2. We also seal a rival foundation by sacrificing our cards, so that's pretty good. Deadlock, after you sacrifice 1 or more foundations, this attack gets -1 speed. That could be good. Sacrifice, spend a momentum, draw 2 is nice. Actually, instead of the seal, let's play the death thing. Smiling death. Because we can sacrifice it to remove it, and then we get to selectively flip a rival foundation, which we can then ruin. I like ruining things. Sacrifice 2 foundations for -3 damage. Let's see, what else? Remove, sacrifice for 1 speed, we're not worried about that. Commit, after a rival foundation is destroyed, draw a card. That's neat. That's a neat one of. That's far too many. Ranger Slam deals damage, we're not worried about that. Rival loses health due to an effect, no. Attack its -2 speed. If a foundation has been destroyed, this enhanced attack gets -3 speed instead. If we have sacrificed a foundation this turn, our rival destroys a foundation. That's pretty good. Next attack is 2 damage. No. We can hate on our rival's momentum. Fighting for control is nasty when we're playing one of these sacrifice-based decks. We like forcing our rival to flip things. So split body control is good. What have we got here? Weapons clash. We can build in foundations to then sacrifice. That's pretty neat. I do want Immortal Shapeshifter, because after one of our foundations is destroyed, we can check 5 to gain health, and when we have a whole bunch of damage reduction on face, it just makes it really easy to keep a really high health total. Warped Pleasure could be a fun one of, because players with 6 or more foundations sacrifice a foundation once per turn, and we can just build that in as long as we're not transformed. This is just free draw. Keiko's Aid's nice. I know people have kind of fallen off Keiko's Aid, but I really think that if you can time it well, or you get like a good, your rival gets a bad check, it can really help survive turns. Always Cool can build us in more foundations, and is good defense because we can prevent attack damage from being modified. Draw a card. I think that might be it. I think that might be all we want to do here. Struggling with studies is good. Always want to play at least 2 if you can. Learning the standards could be fun. So let's see. We have 74 cards. That's actually not as bad as I thought this was going to be. Most of our attacks are mid, though. So, yeah. Might be able to cut that to 2. Final Words, cut that to 1. Smiling Death, we can maybe cut to 3. And let's cut the chomps entirely. What's that put us at? 69. That's not bad. 69 ain't too shabby. And we could always mess with some of these numbers to try to get some of the block zones mixed up a little bit. Because I like Deleterious Bomb because you can sacrifice a foundation, get 1 speed and stun 1, and then after your rival destroys a foundation, like if you force them to sacrifice something, you can just remove this card from your card pool. So that's really, really nice. Could maybe get rid of a Crush the Cavalry and put in maybe another Attack Titan appears. Do it like that. Looks a little better. Again, the fact that a lot of our attacks are mid blocks is kind of rough. And a lot of our foundations are high blocks, which is tricky, I will say. Vertical maneuvering. Do we have, like, a lot of... We don't really have any... That spends a momentum. But we don't have any real momentum outs. Outside of... What? Sins of the Past? Yeah, Sins of the Past, Vertical Maneuvering Equipment, and Mass Decay are only momentum outs. So this isn't a deck... Oh, and then we have momentum out on our transformed character. So that's fine. We don't need momentum outs because we have our character. Yeah, so I kind of dig that. So 69, not great, but again, these are meant to be more of... I guess we can trim that by one, or we can trim this by one. There we go. So 67. These are just supposed to be basic, you know, get to know the character type decks. So you can just use this as a springboard and then figure out what you like better. Yeah, I can see how this guy can be a menace. Constantly flipping your rival's stage and then forcing them to sacrifice their foundations is really oppressive. He reminds me in a way sort of Jedha 2 from Street Fighter vs. Darkstalkers. He also had a very foundation destruction heavy playstyle to where you could clear your rival's foundations in like 2 turns and they'd have to start with nothing. It's really dangerous, but he can also play reversals. Reiner cannot until you play Reiner in Retro, which Retro is a whole nother beast, especially with a bunch of these new Titan things, which I'm having a lot of fun playing around with. So if you like the deck and you enjoyed the video, please give the video a like and consider subscribing if you haven't already. And if you want to help support the channel even more, there's a link to my Patreon in the description below. It's only a couple of bucks a month, and it helps the channel out a lot. So until next time, take care.